course. Alright, that's how we're gonna go with it. This is what we're gonna do. That's not working. Of course, big me to do a video or a live stream from my car again. And depending on the steering wheel to hold the phone. Only me, huh? Okay, I think we're good now. If everybody can hear me well. So, yes, I'm going to do this live. I want to be present. I want to be impulsive when I do it. I don't want to be unauthentic. I'm going to do this right here. And I'm going to do it live with you guys. Just before I get started in the regular content, what's up, Bucks? What's up, Daniel? Yes, indeed, long time. Before I get into the content, I'd like to just warn everybody that it may start pouring, although the sun looks like it's coming out a little bit, but it's been very muggy here in Louisiana the last couple of days. So just to be mindful on that. Also, I'd like to make sure I'm seeing everybody's messages. So far, I only see Bucks and Daniel. So, okay, as you've seen the title, it is what it says. It's going to be my thorough predictions for the New Orleans Saints for the 2023 season. I'm going to predict every single game. I'm going to tell you how I feel about every single game. And by that, I mean I'm going to give you like a little bit of a meter on my confidence level for every game. I'm going to tell you guys if it's a 50-50 game, if I think the game can go either way, and all that good stuff. But ultimately, I will give you my official prediction record for the team. So hopefully a few more bodies get in here so they can be live with me and engage. So I'm not just talking to one person when I'm doing this, but if not, then there will be a video later on for people to go back and look at. Overall, though, in relation to the schedule, how I feel about the schedule, and I would just like everybody to give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. What's up, Jerry? There we go. So just before I get started, I've already introduced the content of this video. What I'm basically going to do is go through every single game, tell you how I feel about every game, tell you if I think we can win, tell you if I think it's a 50-50 game, and ultimately tell you if we're going to win in my prediction. So ultimately, this schedule, as we all know, is the 31st toughest schedule in the NFL. So you reverse that, it's the second easiest schedule, right behind yours truly, the Falcons, which is why, and one of the reasons why I'm so big on the Saints and Falcons coming down to the division. Jerry, same with me, buddy, same with me. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm so big on the division coming down to the Falcons and Saints is because, and even though it's from last year, the Saints and Falcons have the two easiest schedules in the NFL. So I ultimately think the division is going to come down to either the Falcons or the Saints. With that being said, because the schedule is so easy, a lot of people, and I see a lot of people doing this, they are kind of looking at and looking at the schedule and saying, "Wow, this looks very promising. It looks very promising for the Saints." And although they may be right in a regular year, yes, it does look promising. The schedule does look promising. I don't see too many games on it that are not winnable by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I'll go ahead and tell you straight up, right before I get into the predictions, I think the Saints can win every game on the schedule. I think they can beat anybody. They, you heard it. I think the New Orleans Saints have the capability to beat anybody on the schedule. But knowing what we know about the Saints, knowing what we know about who's coaching the Saints, knowing what we know about the maturity level of this team, and I'll be upfront with you guys, I don't trust the coaching. I'm not sure if I trust the team. I know we have talent. There's no doubt in my mind that we have talent. But the other two aspects, the maturity level of the team and the coaching, are two qualities that I don't necessarily trust yet. And by coaching, I'm talking about Dennis Allen. I like Dennis Allen as a defensive mind coach. I think he'll be fine in that area. But as far as being a leader, I don't know. We already saw year one in the Dennis Allen uh, era. This is year two. I'll tell you guys straight up, I still don't like Pete Carmichael. I still think I want him. I still want him to go. Still want him fired. I can't say that enough. I still want him gone. I don't trust him ever. That would take a monumental swing of things to happen in order for me to trust him. But if the Saints decided to get rid of him today and bring somebody in, I would be completely okay with it. Completely okay with it. I think he is an idiot, and I don't think he's fit to coach the New Orleans Saints. The offense, that is. So that's how I feel about the team. I still think they're up in the air. You don't know what you're going to get from them. So when you keep that in consideration, this, like I said, the schedule does look good. The schedule looks very good. A lot of winnable games, and I just told you, I think every game is a winnable game. I think the Saints can beat anybody on the schedule. But based on what I just told you about the team and where they are right now, they're not under Sean Payton. There is no Drew Brees. We got to keep reminding ourselves this every year that although the culture may not be completely gone, that the leadership is still questionable. So with that being said, although every game on the schedule is winnable, every team on our schedule is looking at us on the schedule and saying the exact same thing about us. 100%. Even the worst teams, even the Texans, even the Chicago Bears, those teams that the two worst teams in the NFL, right off the bat, they're looking at the New Orleans Saints and although they may be thinking we're probably only going to win 5 games, but I'm confident we can beat the Saints. They're looking at us like that. Every team on our schedule is looking at us the same way we're looking at them. That we're a winnable game, that we're an opportunity to get a win and bounce back. Straight up. And there is no arguing with that. That is why I sit here and say, although every game on the schedule is winnable for the Saints, I think they can beat anybody on it. I also think they can lose to anybody on it. So with the pros, you got to mention the cons. So with that being said, everybody that's talking about 12-5 and all that other stuff, and there have been some people in this chat that have said, I think we're going to go 12-5. You really got to be mindful about what you're saying and why you're saying it. I just reasoned with you why. Number one, I don't think we're going 12-5, and that's kind of a little bit of a spoiler to what direction I think, or what direction people are gonna think I'm going in this video. But it's also to be mindful about, you know, the situation of the Saints are not established. We don't know what they are. We don't know who they are. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into all the games. Week 1, the Tennessee Titans at New Orleans. 12 o'clock kickoff Central Time. And this is a game that a lot of people are looking at as what should be a victory. Let me go ahead and look at the track history between the Saints and the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans historically have had their way with the Saints. Historically, the Titans have had their way with the Saints. This is one of those AFC opponents that I look at and I say, even if the Saints were good, like really good, under Drew Brees type of deal, I would still be skeptical about this game. Even if the Saints were good and the Titans were not that good, I'd still be skeptical about it. This is one of those games. You look at the Tennessee Titans roster from top to bottom. We all know what the key indicator is. I mean, there's no brain. No, it doesn't take a brain to figure that out. Derrick Henry is obviously going to be the decider. But I feel this is one of those games where I think it'll be close. I think the Saints will definitely have their chances to win. There's definitely going to be moments in the game where we're going to be kicking ourselves and looking at it as the Saints should have did this, the Saints should have did that. If they wouldn't have done this, all the little small stuff that cost the Saints last year, we're going to be looking at in this game and talking about why it cost them the game. Because I got them losing to the Tennessee Titans. I have them coming out the gate and losing to the Titans in week 1. I think it's going to be somewhere in the realm of, and I apologize for this angle, I think it's going to be somewhere in the realm of 19-17. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm actually going to be at the game, most likely. But nonetheless, I think the Saints come out the gate and lose this game to Tennessee. Like I said, if you missed my intro, every game on the schedule is winnable. We can beat anybody on it. We can also lose to anybody on it. That's the kind of team the Saints are, especially this year. Week 2 at the Carolina Panthers. In my book, and this is just me, just historically the last few years, the Saints have not played Carolina very well. Usually they have, but these last couple of years without Brees, they have not played Carolina very, very, very well. Ultimately, I feel that this is a game that can go either way. I think it's a winnable game. However, I also think that the Panthers, if they were going to get their quote unquote first victory, I think it would probably be against the Saints. But with that being said, the Saints, you know what the Saints are. They're not predictable. You don't know what they're going to do. I think they come out in this game on Monday Night Football, and I think they get a win. I think it'll be a very close game, and I think the Saints will escape by the skin of their teeth. And I think they'll win this one 21-20. So I got the Saints with 1 loss and 1 win. 2 close games to start out the year. A loss to the Titans, a win against the Carolina Panthers on the road. Week 3 at Green Bay. Again, I can't stress this enough. Every game on the schedule is winnable. We can beat anybody. But on the flip side, you got to mention the cons as well as the pros. We can also lose to anybody. At Green Bay, Jordan Love at quarterback. What's their foundation? Nobody knows what kind of team they're going to be. They're almost in the same boat as us, except they're in a younger situation with a younger quarterback. This is a winnable game, very winnable. Saints could go on the road and win it easy. I don't think they do. I think they lose this game and go to 1-2. So I got them beating Tennessee. Scratch that. I got them losing to Tennessee. I got them beating Carolina on the road in week 2. And I got them losing to Green Bay in week 3. Bobby, that's funny. Hey, like I said, any game is losable, any game is winnable. So I got the Saints at 1-2 right now. Week 4, Tampa Bay in New Orleans. Another team that, like I said, we could win, we could lose. I'm going to go ahead and give us the nod here, and we take this game at home. I think the Saints will win. I'm going to say it'll be about a 10-point game. I think the Saints will win a 10-point game here. Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Tampa Bay is another team just like the Saints. Picked up a quarterback off the street. Well, not technically off the street, but picked up another quarterback that was kind of abandoned and has been in the league for a little bit. hoping that they can regain their careers in another situation. I think like I said, the Saints could lose this game, but I think they'll win and they'll push their record to 2-2, and they'll be at a stable spot at this point in the season. A lot of Saints fans, a lot of people would probably, especially optimistic people, and trust me, I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. A lot of Saints fans would probably say that the Saints could be 4-0 at this point. They could be 4-0 at this point. Is that possible? Perhaps. According to the level of competition, it is. But when you look at the Saints' track record and the kind of team we are and who's running the team, and I don't think they're going to be 4-0 at this point. I don't see it. I think 2-2 is a good spot for them at this point in the year. In this kind of division, I think 2-2 is a good spot. So I have them at 2-2 going into the Houston game, week 5. One of the worst two teams in the NFL last year. What direction are they going in? They're going to start C.J. Stroud, or they're going to start what's that young dude's name? I forget the guy's name. I forgot the guy's name. I forgot the Texans quarterback's last name from last year. Uh, Davis Mills. That's it. Davis Mills. So Davis Mills, what I'm hearing right now is the front runner to start the season, but who knows what's gonna happen. What's up, Who Dat? What's up, Camel Toes? If you missed what I just said, I got the Saints so far at 2-2 right now. My predictions: I got them losing to Tennessee, beating Carolina, losing to Green Bay, and beating the Buccaneers. So I got them at 2-2 at this point in the year. Going on the road to play the Houston Texans, another team that we have historically struggled against since their existence. Every game that we play against them is either close or Houston blows us out, or it's either close or Houston blows us out. Sorry if you missed that. Just got a notice on my phone, so I had to exit out of that. Um, I think the Saints are gonna go into Houston and lose this game as well. I think they're gonna go in and they're gonna take a loss to either Davis Mills or C.J. Stroud, whoever's starting this game. I think the Saints go on the road and lose this game, and it'll push the record down to 2-3. Like I said, if you missed the intro, I think any game is winnable on this schedule. I also think any game is losable on this schedule. It's all about the New Orleans Saints and where they are. Don't trust the coaching. Not sure if I trust the maturity. I know we got the talent, but it takes more than talent. It takes leadership from coaching, and it takes maturity, which also goes into leadership. So I'm not sure where I stand with this team right now. I just going based on the track history of what they've done the last few seasons. So I got them at 2-3 right now. Then the next week they go on the road to play at New England in Foxborough, whatever, however it's pronounced. That's a game that a lot of people would have us losing. I think we go in there and win. If you look a few years ago, a lot of people had us losing in New England week 3. We won 28-13. I think we'll go on the road and do it again, and I think we'll even our record at 3-3. Then you got a Thursday night matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's another game that a lot of people probably have us losing. I think we're going to win it. I think we'll beat Jacksonville on Thursday Night Football and go to 4-3. So you see how this pattern's kind of going. You got 3 losses to Tennessee, a game the Saints should probably win. Green Bay, I think, is a 50-50 game. And the Houston Texans, which is a game the Saints should probably win. That's the kind of team the Saints have always been. So I got them at 4-3 right now. After that, you're playing an Indianapolis Colts team that historically you've played very well. I mean, just going back to the Super Bowl. The Saints have not lost to the Colts since that Super Bowl, since they won that Super Bowl. So 2007 was the last time the Saints lost to Indianapolis. They played the Colts very well. We have owned the Indianapolis Colts. You're probably going to have Anthony Richardson starting. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Saints win this game. I'm going to say they win. Just because we've historically played the Colts well. I think the Saints will win this game and go to 5-3. It'll be close, but I think the Saints will win this game. So you're 5-3. You're in a pretty good spot for the New Orleans Saints. You're in a pretty good spot. You got the lowly Chicago Bears, the worst team in football last year, coming to town. This is a tricky game. This is another team that the Saints have played well since the year 2008. Since 2008, the Saints have won every game. I think it was 7 straight against Chicago. Saints have not lost to the Bears since 2008, 15 years. You got Justin Fields starting at quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and say the Saints win this game too. I'm going to say they win and go to 6-3. I think it'll be close, but I think they'll win this one. Yeah, we play Chicago at home. I think they'll win. So at this point in the year, and this is the Saints right now in my predictions are 6-3. But keep in mind, like I said, I think every game is winnable, and I also think every game is losable. It could go either way. So I got us at 6-3 right now. Week 10 at Minnesota, I think we're due for a loss. I think we'll take a loss right there. Minnesota, we have not played well against in recent history. Let me not quote all the games we lost to them. I don't want to think about those games, especially the 2 playoff games. I think this is going to be a type of game where we're going to have chances all game long. I think we'll have the lead at some point, and I think it's going to come down to the wire like most Saints-Vikings games do, and I think Minnesota will take it at the end. So I got the Saints losing this game, going to 6-4 into the bye week. You're 6-4 into the bye week. That's excellent. For this division, that's excellent. Like, I don't think you could ask for much better. Well, 10-0, but like I said, we could win any game, we could lose any game. Who knows what's going to happen? But I got us at 6-4. I think that's a decent spot to be. Come out of the bye week, you go into Atlanta. You haven't lost in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium since 2017. I think that ends this year. I think the Saints will go into Atlanta and lose. It'll be a closer game, like a lot of these games that I'm predicting. Pee Wee Herb. But I think the Saints go into Atlanta and they'll take a loss. So they'll go to 6-5. And then you play Detroit. Now, this is a game that a lot of people will probably have Detroit favored. And historically, the Saints have struggled against Detroit within the last 5-10 years. We've struggled against them. I think we're going to go ahead and beat them. I think we'll beat Detroit. I think we'll beat Detroit and go to 7-5. We'll get a huge win. And we'll end that 2-game losing streak and go to 7-5. And then we stay at home again for the second straight week of 3 games at home. And we play the Carolina Panthers and probably Bryce Young. I'm going to go ahead and give us a loss. I think we'll split with Carolina. I think Carolina will come here and beat us. That'll put us at 7-6 going into what is a big game against the New York Giants. New York Giants. Usually we pound the Giants. From recent history, we've beaten up on the Giants. The Giants had not won in New Orleans since, I want to say, the early 90s. Before a few years ago, whenever they came down and we had a 21-10 lead in the fourth quarter. I was at that game. That game made me really mad, and that game ended up costing us the playoffs. Saints blew a 21-10 lead in the fourth quarter and lost in overtime. I think it is critical for the New Orleans Saints, if they're going to make the playoffs this year, that 3-game home stretch right there with Detroit, Carolina, and the New York Giants. I think they have got to. There is no if, ands, or buts. I think they have got to go 2-1. I think they have to go 2-1. So I have them beating Detroit. I have them losing to Carolina. And I'll have them beating the New York Giants. I think they'll beat the New York Giants. So that'll put us at 8-6 on the year. 8-6 on the year. You got 3 games left in the regular season. It's around Christmas time at this point. This is where you want to be playing your best football. You got 1 game down. You go to the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football. This is a team that we all hate. Nobody likes the Rams in New Orleans. Everybody hates them. No, we did not forget what happened 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. I was there. I saw it. We haven't forgotten. Still hate that team. We'll always hate them. Speaking of him, dude, I don't know what he's been up to. I don't know what a lot of y'all have been up to, dude. I haven't been on here in a while, but it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Camel Toes. Never forget y'all. Trust me, I never forgot y'all. I just haven't been on here in a while. So I have us at 8-6. We're playing the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football. The Saints have not won in Los Angeles yet, as long as they've been back in Los Angeles. In fact, the Saints have not won at the Rams, whether they were in St. Louis or in Los Angeles. They have not won in the Rams' home facility since the Super Bowl year, 2009. They play them Thursday Night Football. I think they take another loss here. So I got them at 8-7. I think they'll lose on the road in Los Angeles and go to 8-7. But then you finish the season against Tampa Bay. we could say that, Camel Toes. We can say that. But just in graduate school as well, man. Like I'm trying to be trying to be in the mental health facility, in the mental health field. So that's what I've been up to. Just okay. I think I'm back. Sorry for the pause. So we got 2 games left. Like I said, we got at Tampa Bay week 17, which will be right after the New Year, and then we have the Falcons at home. I think we'll win both of those games. I think the Tampa Bay game is going to be a game that we'll have to win in order to make week 18, that is, a meaningful one. And I think the Falcons and Saints game, that game, week 18, will be for the NFC South. And I think the Saints will win that game in the Superdome and finish the season at 10-7. So that's my prediction. 10-7 for the New Orleans Saints. I think that's a pretty good prediction. I think that's a reasonable prediction. It's realistic in my opinion. I don't think we go above 10-7. I don't. I told you all how I felt a few weeks ago. I think we're going to finish between 7-10 and 10-7. Because the schedule is opportunistic, which I said, you could look at it either way. You can look at it in relation to we can win a lot of these games or we can lose a lot of these games. It could go either way. But because the schedule is opportunistic and because we have the talent that we have, which I think we have a decent amount of talent, I think the Saints will go 10-7 and win the NFC South. Could I be wrong? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a little bit of bias? Is there a little bit of a bias playing into this? Absolutely. 100%. If I was a Falcons fan or a Carolina fan, I'd probably be looking at my schedule and saying the same thing. We could win this division. Bobby Camel Toes could be looking at his team with a young quarterback saying, we probably got the best quarterback in the NFC South, and he's probably right. He's probably going to have the best quarterback in the NFC South come next year or the year after. And hell, with the team that they have around them, which I said that like they have a great team around them, which they don't have necessarily a great team around them, but you got some veteran pieces. You got You got Thielen you brought in at wide receiver. You got nice running back in Miles Sanders. Great head coach in Frank Reich, whatever his name is. I forget that guy's name. A decent upcoming defense. Carolina could, I mean, shit, for all we know, Carolina could win the division. I will say this, and I'll say this pretty confidently, and you can agree with me, disagree with me. I think Tampa Bay is going to finish last in the division. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. There is nothing that you can tell me to believe that Tampa Bay can go from a all-time Hall of Fame quarterback going 8-9 in the regular season and literally not changing a damn thing. If anything, you've lost everything. No more Leonard Fournette. You lost some pieces on that defense. You lose that Hall of Fame quarterback, and you bring in Baker Mayfield, and you still have the same head coach. You still got the same head coach. Tampa Bay, in my opinion, is the worst team in the division. I think Tampa Bay will finish last. I think the division ultimately will come down to the Saints and Falcons. But I think if Carolina did win the division, that would not shock me. We've seen Carolina come out in years, and I'm just looking at 2013 when they started 0-2. Nobody expected them to do anything that year. They went 12-4, won the division, and lost in the divisional playoff. You look the year after, 7-8-1, won them the division. Won a playoff game, lost in the divisional round to Seattle. Year after that, you lose Kelvin Benjamin. 15 wins. They get 15 wins and go to the Super Bowl. I would not count Carolina out. In fact, I might change my mind and look at this as a three-way thing. A three-team division fighting for the division. Hell, for all we know, somebody can win the division and somebody can have a wild card at 9-8. Let's say the Falcons are 8-8 going into week 17 or week 18, whatever. We're 9-7. The winner wins the division. And then Carolina's 8-8 playing Tampa Bay, who I think Tampa Bay is going to suck. And they're 8-8, and they win and they get a wild card or whatever. You know, there could be a team that wins the division at 10-7 and a team that goes 9-8 and gets a wild card. But ultimately, I think one thing is set in stone. I don't know if the Saints are going to go 10-7. I don't know if they're going to do that good. Hell, I mean, I don't know what any team in this division is going to do. But I do know one thing, and I'm very confident, and I stand strong on this. I think Tampa Bay is going to finish dead last in this division. There's nothing you can say to convince me that Tampa Bay will get more than 5 or 6 wins in this division. We're going 14-7. I see what you did there. So those are my predictions, 10-7 record, but you can look at it any which way you want. You can look at the losses and wins completely reversed. You can look at the teams that I have us losing to, the teams that we beat, and the teams that we beat, the teams that we could actually lose to. Like, everything is up in the air with this team. With all 4 of these teams, well, except Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to suck. Everything is up in the air with Saints, Falcons, and Carolina. And the one thing I will tell you, Bobby, what you have on your side, because, and you've seen it, Carolina has the tendency to come out and exceed expectations year in and year out. You saw it in 2013 to 2015. Even in 2017, whenever we played in the playoffs, you saw it there. I didn't think y'all were going to be that good. So Carolina usually does great or exceeds expectations when they're least expected to. So that's what would scare me about them. And considering they got a good head coach, they got a new up-and-coming quarterback, You got a good running back now. You got a talented veteran wide receiver with all those other young pieces. Your defense is up and coming. Jerry, I don't think the Saints go 12-5. I think a safe bet would be 9-8 for the Saints. Let's go Braves, baby. 60 wins. The first team to 60 freaking wins in the MLB. What you saw, and they're playing right now. I don't know the score of the game. We already won the series against Tampa Bay. We're talking baseball right now, not football. We're talking baseball. To me, and I'm sure a lot of people, that is a preview of what the World Series will be. And as of right now, on this day, now you got the All-Star break coming up the next few days, but on this day, I don't see one damn team that could beat the Braves. I don't see a damn team that could hang with the Braves. Not one. I really want to get either a Ronald Acuna jersey or a Matt Olson jersey. I might wait till if they win the World Series. I might just go all out and get like a World Series jersey, but I want to get one. That's how I feel, Camel Toes. And Jerry Camel Toes, Rise Up ATL, my boy John Moore, Slitta, I think J Dub too, CPG. Let's freaking go Braves, baby. Let's go. Well, Jerry, I'm not too big on if they win this one because they already won the series. So they won the series, and it's the Rays being an AL opponent. It's not the biggest. A Fizzle too. I forgot about A Fizz. The Braves, the Braves winning an AL series in the regular season is not necessarily the biggest deal in the world. All you really want to make sure you have is the home field advantage come the playoffs, and if the World Series, if and when you get to the World Series against them, that's all you really want. You want to secure that. And by the way it's looking, especially in the NL, it's looking like the Braves are going to get that number one seed by a landslide. I'd say a few weeks before the season, they could possibly clinch that. Yeah, Mr. Hudat, women's basketball, that is. I wish that damn men's basketball team would do something, dude. Like I want to see LSU win March Madness in the men's basketball. Yeah, dude. It's insane, dude. It's insane. You thought when Freddie Freeman left we were gonna take a step back, but it just seems like we haven't missed a beat. It's incredible. You win a World Series, then you win 100 games the next year, and although you didn't win it that year, you still win 100 games, and then it's looking like we're on pace to win 100 games this year, over 100, well over 100 games this year. So it's looking great. I've definitely been more educated on the game of baseball. I've been taking more time to watch it. It's been very fun, and yes, I do want to give a shout out to the LSU baseball team for winning. I'm definitely gonna go try to get some gear for them. But the LSU baseball team won the College World Series, which is awesome. Dylan Cruz is a stud. He's probably gonna go first overall. You got a lot of young studs on that LSU team that are gonna that unfortunately for them it's probably gonna be Oakland and Kansas City getting them, but you make the MLB, it's a milestone in itself. Who that, Mr. Who that? I'm gonna tell you straight up, and this is just me, dude. I've I've definitely put a wall up with the Pelicans. I'm not expecting anything significant out of them. If anything, dude, and I said this last year, and although my opinion shifted, it just ultimately proved to be right because Zion just can't stay healthy, and he wants to uh, screw all these hookers and strippers or whatever, or porn stars, and have babies with them and have them come live with them and all that stuff. I think this Pelicans team is just is just. I feel like we're in a market in New Orleans, not too big of a city, where I feel like it's so Saints oriented, and these fans really don't come out to support these Pelicans until they have like winning seasons like they've had. And you can tell me all you want, I've seen it, dude. You walk into the Smoothie King Center, they got like 10 people in there, dude. 3 years ago. Most people can't even tell you what channel the Pelicans play on. That's the sad thing about the Pelicans. Most people can't even tell you what channel they play on. Bally Sports. Channel 38 for people with Cox cable. If you got any other cable provider, it's probably a different channel. Most people could not even tell you what record we have, what regular season record we had this year. That's how you know that a lot of people are very casual with the Pelicans. I've been watching them since I was about 11 or 12. Around the end of Chris Paul days up until now, I've watched them. I'm not trying to gloat, but I remember whenever we've went from CST to Fox Sports, now to Bally Sports. A lot of people couldn't even tell you. Mosh, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you, brother. I get y'all's notifications on my phone all the time. I get Camel Toes notifications. I saw Camel Toes video the other night whenever he went off on on Slitta, which I will say was pretty funny. I'll say that, dude. I've been kind of scratching my head saying the same thing. Like, dude, you make a video talking about how, oh, this is how y'all should be living y'all's lives. Look at me, I'm living my life. I'm drinking a beer, listening to music outside. You make a video and shame other people for being on YouTube, but you feel the need to have to make a YouTube video to prove that you're living a good life. I don't like that itself is a contradiction. First of all, if I'm going to post on any social media platform, it's going to be Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. I'm not going to post my personal life, what I do in my personal life on YouTube, a platform where there are people from different states, different countries I can see that I don't know personally. I'm not going to post that. Second of all, the fact that you have to prove to other people by advertising it that you have a life, to me, deep down, exposes an insecurity that you're not willing to admit that you have. And that's just, hey, I'm no genius, but if I wanted attention, I do it in the most indirect way that I can. It's like you see a girl on Snapchat or Instagram posting up that she's at a club, so you feel the need to have to post up, yeah, let's go to the club. Let me post a picture of myself so she can see that I got all these girls around me. So she can see that I'm not this loser that doesn't have a life. It's like kind of what and what with that. You post on YouTube and tell all these other people that are coming on making all these live streams on YouTube, hey, this is what y'all should be doing, living a life like me. But here you are, posting it to the same platform that they're posting to. So that's my opinion on that. I was wondering when somebody was gonna say something, or when somebody was gonna like call him out on that. And whenever I saw Bobby do that, and I watched it, I was like, bro, the perfect words. So anyway, I'm at 45 minutes right now. I got some things I gotta go do. Uh, I told myself I wasn't gonna ramble and get off topic in this stream. I couldn't help myself. I'm not on here that much, so whenever I see y'all come in, I feel like I gotta engage with you guys at least a little bit. But thank you guys for coming and sitting through this. The point of the matter is the Saints, I have them going as of right now 10-7, give or take. Like I said, I got them going between 7-10 and 10-7. So I think they'll go somewhere in between that. I think they're a team that has talent. I don't trust the coaching and maturity. I don't know if we're a mature team. Those are my question marks with the Saints. They're the type of team that could beat the best team on their schedule and lose to the worst team on their schedule. It's been proven. It's happened. Literally, it's happened. So, with that being said, guys, you guys take it easy. Have a good Sunday, and I'm out.